15 different looking techniques, number 11 through 15. Number 11, technique. You do not have to be an artist to be able to imagine what technique might have been used, and you don't have to be right. If you say that yellow is purple, it's purple. Everything about this is just between you and the artwork. You don't have to be correct. You can never be wrong. And if you imagine a technique of creation that has put together this artwork that you are looking at, you're right. I just affirm that for you completely. If somebody took a palette knife and spatulaed a whole bunch of big chunks of paint, that's a technique. If somebody used a brush and it's all smooth, that's a technique. If somebody carved with a chisel and a hammer, that's a technique. If somebody put a bunch of boxes and made a graphic novel, that's a technique. Anything, and they probably used ink. But did they use an ink pen, or did they use a brush, or did they use a quill and loose ink? There are a lot of different ways that you can imagine what the technique might be that made that. Is it sealed with something that's really shiny at the end? Is it big blocks of color? And are they loose and really full of expression, or are they tight and very secular and just, if you know what I mean. So going on, 12. 12 is walk through. You can imagine that a spaceship came down from the heavens and it beamed you up. And what you are doing now, as this little minuscule person is walking through this piece of artwork, climbing up this sculpture, you inside, what do you see to your right? What do you see to your left? Can you see beneath you? Can you see above you? What are all of the different things that you will experience? If you go behind that purple, what's back there? If you see a little bit of squiggly and the writing was covered up by a color, what is the rest of the squiggly? And did it end up saying something? Did it end up giving you a graphic picture of something? Pretend you are really small and you are walking through, engaging an entire world of this piece of art. That one is so easy to get completely immersed with and fun. Okay, number 13, story. Just because it's 13, please don't ignore it, okay? I'm not choosing to be superstitious here. There are a lot of different ways that you can create a story. You can create a story of a walkthrough. You can create a story of everything melting as you're walking through. You can create a story of, well, that was my grandpa back on the farm. You can create a story in 20 different ways, with yourself, with other characters, with imaginary characters, with animals, with things that you have seen and things that you have only imagined. There are billions of ways to make a story out of one piece of art. Where is it that the person who created this art was thinking, I think blue will stand for medical, or I'll make blue stand for water, or I'll make blue stand for sky. There are so many different ways that you can take this and just run with it. When you are immersing that far that you can actually make a story of your own based upon what it is you are visually engaging with, then you are definitely letting the other side of your brain take over and do some serious healing work. Okay. 14. Characters. So who is it that might live in this painting? Who is it that might have done this kind of painting? What kind of person would have done that? What kind of person would have created this? And what kind of person would have imagined that? What kind of people can live in there? What kind of people would just be voyeurs and look at what's going on in there? What people would be engaging in what ways with this particular piece? They're all characters. Pretend a slug was engaging with it. What would a slug be doing with this piece of work? It immerses. Okay. And number 15, imagination. If you were the person who had created that artwork, how would you have created it different? Would you have created it just the same? What would you make certain things mean? What are the statements you are putting out to the world? What is the things that you are passionate about? What is all of that saying? Based upon the story, the narratives, the characters, the depth, the colors of this work. Using your imagination and creating your own ways to engage. Or imagining you're someone else. Imagine you're your mother. Sorry, just for 2 seconds. Imagine you're your mother. How would she interact with this piece and going through some of the different techniques that you've gone through? Imagine that you are the most powerful being in the universe. How would you react? Use your imagination in as many different ways as you can, and you will be immersing in looking at art. Now, we're going to talk about all of how we put this together and the structure in just a few minutes. We'll see you there.